Ladies and gents, it is episode 1 of Scarves 21 Questions, inaugural episode brought to you by Bytoiwn Boys Supporters Club. Hell yeah, we're in the building. Thank you, Stephane, for hosting. To my right, I've got Aaron, and then we have Stephane, and then Matt and Mustafa. My name is Anton. You know who it is from the banter. Anyway, so we're going to do a 21 question session. Everybody's going to get a chance to voice their opinions and or answers. So you guys ready for this or what? Or
let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing it? Okay. Oh, I'm being cued for something. Do. Alright, question 1 right off the bat, since you're hosting, Stephane.
Fine.
If you could name our future NASL team in Ottawa, what name would you give it and why?
Let's go with something. Well, let's face it. It's gonna have to say Ottawa in it because this is Ottawa. So let's go something simple. Ottawa City FC. It's nice, simple, easy to paint, very generic. Like we should do it.
Cool.
Or we could go because Ottawa's had so many teams playing all over the place in this. For the sport, anyways, Ottawa Rovers.
Alright.
And our theme song could be 500 miles.
And Mustafa, you got any suggestions you want to add?
Yeah, a bunch have been brought up, but the more I think about it, the more suggestions we come up with. We've had a lot of discussion about this as a group. I like Stephane's idea, either Ottawa City FC or go with FC Ottawa. Just generic names and let the fans bring up the culture. We've heard things like putting a year beside the team, like 1850 Ottawa for Confederate, the year of Bytown was founded, maybe 1867 Ottawa, tie it with the 67s, things like that. But yeah, the more specific suggestions I hear, the more broad I want to keep it. So in Ottawa City FC, you get to keep the word city in there as a reference that we're the capital. So
cool.
Yeah, generic is good in this case, I think.
Aaron, you got any?
I don't know, like, something that's really stuck into my head was a suggestion that I heard from Stephane was the Ottawa Glebe Football Club. You know, it's something in the lines of the PSG, the Paris Saint-Germain. So it's we have the city, but it's also mentioning the area of the city that the club is located in. And I think it would be something different that no club really in North America has done. And potentially maybe we can do a partnership with Paris.
Cool. Matt, anything? Or?
I'm a little split sometimes, but I'm when it came to me for soccer, or for footy, it always came out to be Capital for me because it is Capital Region.
Yeah.
We don't have to go with Capital City FC. Maybe just Capital FC or something along those lines. But Ottawa Incorporation is a good idea.
Cool.
Don't go too far outside of those barriers.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All right, Mufasa, number 2. In PDL, USL, given the magical run that the Fury had throughout their season this past summer, us being there to support, do you see more of the same for the following season?
Yep, I definitely do. What's going to be different this year, next year is the fact that they're going to be preparing for NASL. John Pugh has said, John Pugh is basically the manager of the Fury, above the coach that we have here. And he said that he wants to have the NASL coach in place about a year before the team actually starts playing in NASL. So we're going to see the coach coming in then, and what we're going to see after that is players coming in, players trying to crack the NASL team. Aaron. So we're going to, whether that's rightfully an advantage we should have or not, the point is we're going to have it. We're going to have more skilled players. And given the history of the Fury and PDL as well, they've always been a great team, always making the playoffs, going for championships. So definitely expect to see the same thing next year.
Cool. Aaron?
Well, I spent some games at the PDL games, and I hope that the fan base will grow more, and as it continually has throughout the years. And I'm just expecting that next season we're gonna have just a lot more fans out there, and hopefully you'll get to see me on the field.
Two less if McTwat joins the club.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, anything?
I'm thinking, more of the same. no doubt, it's moving up. It's changing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. But we're expecting more of the same for sure.
Cool. Stephane?
Well, and they had a great run. The kids were kids that probably got just knocked out of the first round or late in the round with your English academy systems. They're not kids that, oh, hey, you finished high school. Oh, you were the best player on the team. Your team finished dead last. Come play for us anyways.
Right.
No, it's players that can play, that can move, that can work together. So they brought in kids that can work together. They also have their academy system set up already. So they could just move players on up. So they have that to their advantage compared to other teams who have to go around and install. So I think they'll be fine next season. When they hit NASL, we'll have the bumpy first season ride where we lose a lot of games, win some, draw some. But that's the first season. You get what... That's what happens.
Yeah.
But again, you never know.
Exactly.
Just like Capital City, everyone thought they were going to be like that, but boom.
Yeah, but Sean Harris knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is true,
difference.
Plus, there's a slight difference between NASL and CSL.
Yeah. You gotta give
That
it
team should have been in there. I saw it that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, CBC. All right. So, Aaron, do you believe, like, you know, we got the return of the New York Cosmos coming to NASL. Like, do you think it's going to have a significantly good or bad impact on amateur footy in North America?
I think it will, because, you know, they have a big history in North America, and at one time they were one of the biggest clubs in the world. And with the return, I think it will give more exposure to the NASL and also to young amateur players to say, okay, MLS is an option, but also you have the NASL to play in before you get into the MLS. So because of this big team coming in and with the big name owners and such as Pele, Eric Cantona, you know, all these people bring it in, it will. I think it will make a big impact.
And Matt, anything to add?
I think it's only going to help. That's all it's going to do. You know, you're getting more diversity out there, more players involved, and like Aaron said, you're spreading the word.
Right.
Not a bad thing whatsoever.
Absolutely. Stephane?
Well, it's a great thing. I just hope that they stay in the NASL long enough before Don Garber shows his secret fantasy that everyone knows that the New York Cosmos is the 20th team for the MLS. Keep him in the NASL. Let's make this work. They're putting 20,000 they're talking about in downtown New York.
Right.
Let's keep it. Keep it in the NASL. Can you imagine us going down as supporters to New York?
Right.
Hotel to stadium, short, safe trip. That's good for us.
I don't know about safe.
Hey, it's okay.
Where was the stadium going to be?
If it's 30 minutes away or 10 minutes away, I'm gonna probably bet the 10 minutes one's a safer bet to get to and from.
What, are you gonna run to the stadium?
Yeah, run! It's New York. The last thing they want to see is us with the flags and their drums yelling, "This is our house."
Mustafa, anything?
Well, it's marketing-wise, it's great for the league. They're not the same club, but they bring the name, obviously. As Stephane mentioned, though, hopefully they plan on staying in NASL and not using NASL as a means to get up to MLS. NASL, yeah, as I said, is going to use them basically. They're going to use the name. They're going to use them the same way that MLS uses David Beckham, just draw more people to games. And it's only a good thing, yeah, it helps grow the league. Whatever helps is great in this case. So yeah, they can only do great things for NASL.
But at the same time, they have a lot of things to live up to.
Yeah.
As they are taking on the New York Cosmos name, the brand, they have to deliver, and you know, they have to really truly make a name for themselves.
Yeah, but you gotta think of it. An owner like Pele. Think of the youth academies he has his hands on in Brazil.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he'll bring up 15-year-olds and they'll just outplay the pants of most.
Maybe that's why he's telling Neymar not to go to Europe.
Yeah.
To bring him to New York Cosmos.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
All right, cool. Matt, so given the past Olympic Games in London, the women's national team for Canada was the best we've ever seen yet. keeping in mind Canada will be hosting the 2015 World Cup, like, do you expect to see more of the same improvement, a slight decline maybe?
I'm saying improvement the whole way.
Yep.
What our girls showed that year or this year was just insane. The country came right behind them, and it was a great thing to show the country that we actually have what we need in the sport. And so I'm just gonna look good in the next few years.
Mustafa?
Off the pitch, it's going to be amazing in terms of support, in terms of we're already starting. The Voyagers have started preparing. They have a banner going across the country, supporters, clubs, fans, we're all signing it and wishing them well. It's going to grow. It's going to be massive by the time they start playing. This country, we've showed that we have loads of support for them just at the past Olympics. You look at the Christine Sinclair story and how much attention it got. People are still talking about that. So off the pitch, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. On the pitch, we have to guard against high expectations, though. Sure, we did well at the Olympics, but look at how well they did in the last Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
They got bounced in the group stage. And I think women's international teams are starting to take the Women's World Cup a bit more seriously than the Olympics. That's just my opinion. So there's going to be, and women's soccer is improving all the time, so they have to guard against that as well. On the pitch, I think they're capable of doing the exact same thing, but keep in mind they bounced a lot of, they were underdogs the whole way. They basically have to have a repeat performance to do a similar, to have a similar feat. So I'm going to predict a bit not as impressive on the pitch, but they definitely are capable of doing it.
Stephane?
I agree with Mustafa's. Let's face it, how much new blood has the Canadians women's team brought in?
Yeah.
And they're playing with an old guard. It's like trying to play 2006 World Cup team with 98 France World Cup winners. You can't bring that age group forward. It's the way the game's improving. Like, Europe has stabilized their women's league. We're trying to figure ours out.
Right.
And that's where we have a huge disadvantage. Some of our players go play in Europe, but we can't promise them anything here.
Aaron? No?
It's just
Zilch?
it was. I'm still like shocked of their performance. You know.
I think we all are.
Yeah, it was great.
No, it's super.
The fact that a ref had to bounce us out was
Like, it was truly world class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was some like Premier League stuff right there. Like you know that the women displayed, and you know.
Hey, they played in Old Trafford, right?
Exactly, and you can see now that a lot of, because I have a lot of friends who are still in high school and stuff, and I can still see that a lot of these girls soccer players are wanting to make the national team now, and they're really like starting to try and make that as their career, which you haven't really seen in the past.
That's true.
Oh, by the way, random story about women's soccer players. When we were in Toronto at the TFC Montreal game.
Yeah.
By we, he means him and I.
Yeah. Well, we're the only two.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
so this girl comes up. She wants me to take a picture of her and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Finds out she's playing for Ontario.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, so what? I'll see you in Ottawa in 2015. She's like, yeah, I better be on the pitch. I said, good, that's the attitude.
You can tie in our Fury W League team to the women's national team as well. We produce some great players,
including the women's academy from the Whitecaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the two main feeders.
Diana Matheson, who plays for the national women's national team, is actually she used to be a Fury W League player. I'm pretty sure.
So, Stephane, next question. Now, what's Canada's men's national team's next step? What needs to be improved?
Okay,
now,
are we
specific
talking
for the
about
dumb listeners?
Okay, are we talking about the players themselves or the organization? Because the players,
Start with the players.
You should take a long walk off a short pier.
And as for management and company?
Management, take a really long walk off a short, high cliff. Honestly,
So you're
CSA's
sending them to PEI.
yeah, more or less. Management's known about this issue. A bunch of people have talked about it before. Oh, yeah, we have a professional league. No problem. Put the players on the pitch. They'll play.
Yeah.
No, this isn't hockey. You don't have to get a chemistry of 5 people at one time. You gotta get a chemistry of 11. And all you could do is maybe change it up max 3 times a game.
But even that, it doesn't. It can't be only the chemistry 11. It has to be chemistry of the whole team.
Yeah.
No matter if they're on the pitch or off
Yeah,
the
no,
pitch, no
but
matter what,
it's
you
chemistry.
have to have the whole thing.
But that's
Exactly.
the thing. It takes
Exactly.
time to build that chemistry. I know
Exactly.
I'm relating to hockey, but we know
Yeah,
hockey.
But that's team sport, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
It's I like to call it chess on grass. Hockey's a lot faster. So you can't make your mistakes. You make your mistakes, that's it,
Yeah.
game over.
Yeah.
Footy, you make a mistake, you have some time to adjust.
Right.
So you need the chemistry to adjust, to learn, to watch. Well, I know he runs like this, and I know his speed, and I know how he likes to cut. So if he's going to go left, I'm going to go right. I know we're switching sides, but it'll cover the field properly. Things like that.
Right.
It takes time to build, and CSA is just realizing, oh, oops.
I thought it would be totally different though.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to lose that bad. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
No one did.
You know what? I
Oh my
actually thought,
goodness.
this, they're actually going in the right direction. Wow, you know what?
Maybe a 1-0 a one
Yeah.
goal loss,
Yeah.
you'd be happy.
And everyone was saying that. Okay, maybe if it was a 1-0 loss, like
Yeah.
whatever, it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
now we have to,
It never happened.
we have to see what we have to do
Cool.
now. And
Matt, anything you want to touch on?
I think both players and organization have to take a step back and really look at what they've done. They showed some promise and then they just fell apart.
In every aspect,
In
eh?
every
They do that all the
single
time too.
Yeah.
We'll look like champions one day, then the next game we play like
I mean, that's actually the consistency that they were
Exactly.
playing with, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
We played great at home. Put us away. Who are you? I know I shared the same hotel room and sit on the bus. Don't know you.
So, Mustafa, next question. What should Canada do to have a legitimate chance at just hosting the 2026 World Cup?
build more stadiums, and what we need is for both the last question and this one, we need a domestic league. I think we have to start one up. Whenever this gets brought up, you get two counter arguments, which we always use to say it'll never happen. We're gonna fail. People bring up the geography aspect. We bring up the fact that there's no owners willing to invest, and frankly, that's just loser talk. That's why we're never gonna get anywhere. In terms of geography, I'll bring up Australia, China, Russia, Brazil, and the US. What do those countries have in common? They're huge. What do they also have in common? They've got domestic leagues. The US and Australia, soccer is what, 4th, 5th in terms of popularity in both those countries, yet they make it happen.
Right.
Ownership as well. I'm sure every major city in Canada has a version of John Pugh. I know Edmonton does with FC Edmonton. They have a great owner down there. Put in maybe a TFC Academy team, an Impact Academy team, and a Whitecaps Academy team. There's 5 teams right there, and then you just need 3 more cities. You got a Div 2 league right there.
Exactly.
There's the basis for your World Cup bid, and after that we need stadiums. But the great thing about that is we actually have more than we think. We can use CFL stadiums. We have a couple, at least 50,000 seaters. BC Place would be great for a final. We actually have more infrastructure than we think we do. It's just there's always a hurdle with soccer in Canada that we feel like we're gonna fail no matter what, and that just stops us from going for things.
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
this.
jump in on Mustafa's here. He speaks about geography, how it works. Fine.
Right.
Let's go something everybody knows. Look at the OHL, the QJHL. They split it up, and then they have a big tournament at the end of the season.
Right.
Why not?
Exactly.
It can work. It's simple, and fine. Don't go pro. Go semi-pro.
Yeah.
Go guys who stock Walmart shelves part time.
Yeah.
Get those guys.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And if I can, sorry.
Yeah, if we can get this going, it will step up the game. And if we build that up, there will be demand for. No, you know what? We're packing all these 5,000 seat stadium. No, we want a real league.
Yeah.
We want our own league. And also, geography again. The States has to go north, south, east, west. Canada's population, east, west.
Exactly.
We have a better advantage.
Yeah.
Aaron?
I just say, like, I agree with Stephane in the sense of having that OHL league, because it does the OHL style league, sorry,
Right,
because
right.
it does develop better players, and it builds the support local football fan base.
Yeah.
You know, having those small, intimate stadiums like they do in
Right,
England,
right,
and
right.
you know, selling cheap tickets and having the local players come who are maybe 17, 18, 19 years old, and then from there, even the NASL and the MLS can draft those players from there,
Yeah.
and you know, it will create the atmosphere and the players and just everything, you know.
For what
Everything
it's
will fall
worth,
into place.
though, that is what they're looking at doing. The CSA, they're looking at. I think what they're going to announce very soon is a bunch of regionalized U23 leagues, which are going to support our national team, which is all fine and great. It's just a bit underwhelming for me because I'm a type of fan where I want to see the true national league. It's done everywhere, honestly. Like Australia and the US, they're not. They're very similar to us. In fact, if anything, per capita, I think we have more passion for soccer. So. The U23 or regional leagues is great and everything, but it's very underwhelming. I think we could do a lot better.
Matt?
Well, I think what we have to do is just prove something in 2015.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It may not be only based on what Canada can do as a footy nation or as a soccer nation, but what we can show as support for the actual sport itself, both on and off the field.
Yep.
Now, Matt, again, like, do you believe, like, you know, we in Canada have a greater chance of qualifying for international competitions, such as the World Cup, you know, with reference to, like, you know, the 3 professional clubs that we already have established?
I wouldn't say that much of a greater chance. It is better, but that amount of a chance is not increased too much. It is showing some promising movement, but it's not exactly going to say it's going to change it that much.
Aaron?
I don't know. Like, let me think. I need to think.
All right,
about this.
Stephane, you want to take it?
Well, right now with the academies, the Whitecaps are starting to put out players. Toronto FC's, you look at Ashton Morgan, you look at Reggie Lamb, correct?
Yep.
Johnson, look at those players.
Yeah.
You're looking, wow, that's coming from an academy system.
Yep.
That's one team doing that. Now, Montreal, once they get theirs up and running, same thing with Vancouver, once they get up and running, again, it's not going to make a huge difference, as Matt said, but it will make it a bit better.
Right.
We're not going to be running the race with clogs on anymore. We actually have running shoes now.
Yeah.
Mustafa?
Yeah, they help. They're a start. We were just talking about the professional league. The major advantage, obviously, for the national team would be academies. In terms of, as Stephane mentioned, TFC is doing a great job. TFC Academy. We're seeing results now in terms of Ashton Morgan, Daniel Henry, Dylan Roberts. I know I'm forgetting a couple as well. The Whitecaps and
That's a
Impact.
couple more than I knew already. Jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, the Whitecaps Academy as well and the Impact are catching up. Although they don't seem to have as much of an emphasis on playing Canadian players, just because MLS rules say they don't have to. T-Bert in Vancouver is doing great, and there's a couple young players in Montreal who are promising. FC Edmonton at them as well. Actually, FC Edmonton are basically Team Alberta in NASL, so they're doing great as well. In terms of our chances for qualifying for major tournaments, we definitely do improve. It's a start, but it's I don't think you have maximal potential in. They still can be improved, yeah. Long story short, yes, they do, but we still have work to do.
Okay. Aaron?
Yeah, I agree with all you guys. Like, we have a lot of work to do, but I think we do need more of the development and more clubs and stuff, especially potentially in the Maritimes.
Yep.
Because that's kind of an untapped source.
Yeah.
It is.
Especially, I've heard that university games and stuff, they get like a full stadium, full house over there.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of players out there that I know personally who are very good and just not getting the chance at getting showcased. So to truly, potentially have like better chance of qualifying for these tournaments, we need to like truly look into our untapped resources.
Yeah.
That's always been an issue for us.
Yeah.
So, Stephane, due to the popularity of UEFA's Euro Cup, you know, how can we improve or increase popularity of North America's CONCACAF Gold Cup?
Well, when this question was written, the newest press release about the States hosting and Canada and the chance to qualify for Copa America,
Right.
there's a chance that we're going to combine the two tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that, but for the same problem for the combine the two tournaments and the Gold Cup is the States, Mexico, and Canada always get it. You only have two hosts, the States and Mexico.
Right.
You don't even look at any of the other countries. The other countries are getting annoyed because, oh, Canada sucks, and they get in automatically.
Right.
They can handle Mexico and the States, but why does Canada get in? Why can't they play?
Right.
And we need those games. We need those qualifier games
Right.
to say, no, you don't work well with him. I've seen you at practice. No, you're not beside him. Oh, you work well on opposite wings. Okay, let's move you there. You need that time to adjust, to grow.
Mustafa?
Rotate it. I don't see why the U.S. gets to host it all the time. I know there's the old argument for CONCACAF is they want to make the most cash possible, but really, for the sake of making it legit, you have to rotate it. And I'd like to test that theory that hosting it in the U.S. all the time is the best for cash. I mean, give it to Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do a great job with it. If there's a U.S.-Mexico final, if there's 100,000 in Mexico right there who are willing to go see that. Panama and I think it's El Salvador. Anyway, a neighboring country that with Panama they can easily host it. Give it to us,
Yeah.
to Canada. We do a great job. 2007 U20 World Cup, we packed stadiums for.
FIFA said they loved it. We were on the right track.
Exactly. So rotate it, really.
But I think the trouble that CONCACAF may have with it is that they're looking at it and they don't have the other kind of countries might not have the infrastructure,
Yeah,
like the
that's
proper
yeah.
stadium. Like it's not. Some countries aren't safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Well-
so they don't want fans to go down there and then
Well,
you know,
the-
or even players. They
The
get
West
injured.
Indies hosted a cricket World Cup. I know it's cricket. It was 3 groups of 4, so 12 teams.
Yeah.
But they put in the money to build their infrastructure. They spent the money and did it, and they hosted it perfectly well. These
Yeah.
these trouble-ridden countries, rule 1: if your money comes from tourism, you don't touch the tourists. Because you touch the tourists, the government knows who gets bribed, and they'll find out from who gets bribed, who's giving the money, so on and so forth, and send the closest military unit to you, and not even get you to say, please don't shoot. You'll be done in an instant if you touch tourists from this magnitude.
And that's why Norway's export gave
I
the
don't think
game
it's
to
fair
the
to
US.
label. I don't think it's fair to label them all like that. Though.
No,
They do a
I,
great job.
I'm just thinking of
Yeah.
Jamaica personally.
Yeah, yeah. And about the lack of infrastructure, if I remember right, the 2011 Gold Cup, the U.S. had 3 venues.
Detroit was one.
It was Kansas City and 2 others. I don't remember
They
the
put it
others.
in Detroit.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
yeah. Canada played the States there,
Yeah.
and all I could think was they're here, they're there, they're every fucking where. Empty seats. It was you watch, and you're like, oh come on, Canada, U.S. You'd think Americans want to come and say, ha ha, we beat your ass.
Yeah.
No.
So you don't need much venues. Honduras, I know, has at least 2,
Yeah.
for what it's worth.
Matt?
We're missing one aspect here. We got to get the word out. Sure, you can change the setup of the whole thing, but you got to get the word out. You don't hear as much up until a week, 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
I'm
3
not
weeks,
gonna lie.
they really-
Sometimes I don't even know that.
This is my
I'm not
point.
gonna,
This
and
is
I'm
my
a soccer
point.
player. Like
Yeah.
if that's bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Change the name from Gold Cup to Copo Oro.
Alright. Hey,
Use the Spanish name. It'll draw
why
fans,
not?
trust me.
Why the hell not? Alright, alright, Aaron, this one's for you. In Canada, we have our Voyageurs Cup, which includes only 4 teams at the moment. Okay, so that's the 3 in the MLS, FC Edmonton, and NASL. Ottawa will be joining in a couple years' time. Can Canada realistically have the Voyageurs Cup be one day, years to come, be like, you know, the FA Cup and EPL, where all the amateur, semi-pro, you know, all those teams are included, perhaps at the beer leagues, that type thing? Do you see that ever happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Short and sweet. All right.
100%. Like I don't like agree that you should put in the beer leagues because like I mean like
I think it'd be great for shits and giggles.
like they probably won't make it past like the first of
Unless
the
you play
20th
Toronto, then you're going straight to the final.
No, but I don't think they'd make it past the first round. But I mean, whatever.
Hey.
Like give them a chance. But I would say that it would be nice to see some of the CSL teams, potentially maybe not all Toronto-based teams, you know, because there's
Yeah.
maybe just have Toronto FC and they all represent from
Right.
that. But you know, maybe the Waterloo, the London.
Windsor.
Yeah, Windsor, Kingston, and then even some of the amateur teams in Vancouver, and
right.
maybe some of the maritime ones too.
Yeah,
But or even PDO, have them all come, and you'll have a great tournament. I remember
It'd be
one night I was on Wikipedia, and I was like, what amateur, like semi-pro and amateur teams do you have in Canada? So I looked up, and like you could actually have a
You
decent
could.
Yeah.
a decent tournament going on, and like the towns would come around that
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
especially if you have teams like
absolutely.
Vancouver Whitecaps coming in, like
Yeah.
Toronto FC,
Yeah.
Well, how
Montreal.
many-
Those are like the Real Madrid and Barcelona of Canada. Like everyone would come and watch those.
Yeah.
Matt, anything else?
Well, I think it's a great idea. The time is the issue. As Aaron said, we do have the teams there.
Right.
The beer leagues, to me, would be pushing it as well, especially with all the little professional teams we have going on. It'd be a good challenge for everybody, and it'd be a good way to see what Canada has and kind of bring it all together instead of, you know, I'm in Ontario, I watch TFC.
Right.
I might go see the Impact every so often, but you don't get to see kind of the guys from out west. So having everybody together and having it maybe televised or advertised
Right.
would give it out there. You know,
Exactly,
it would definitely help it
CBC.
out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CBC did great with TFC and the World Cup.
And NASL, actually, they're starting to cover NASL.
Yeah, they do. FC
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Mustafa, this one's for you. We've never seen TFC make the playoffs in 6 fucking seasons, all right? Since their inauguration to MLS in 2007, what on earth does Toronto have to do to create a winning culture?
Yeah, well, I'll start
A
by
lot.
saying I'll forget MLSC in this because we all know.
We all know the-
MLSC isn't going anywhere, so we have to live with it.
Oh,
Exactly. Anyway, on the pitch, what they've always been plagued with is constant turnover. Just never having a set vision, a set plan, and that draws back to MLSC a bit. But what they need is, to be honest, we'd have to stick with Mariner just for the sake, really, of not having turnover. But they need someone who can identify talent, identify the good players, bring them to the club, and have them play well as a team, and have this person stay around for more than one season. If you look at TFC's past, their star players are guys like, I mean, right now, who is it? Mariner thinks a guy like Americois is good enough to be in a good MLS player. Even guys like Ryan Johnson.
right.
Just to put it in perspective, when TFC got Ryan Johnson, San Jose fans were happy that their club found someone who was willing to take
Right.
him,
Right.
which is what TFC has always been for MLS, really. So
First
they,
Twins and Franksman came here.
yeah, I don't know how Frings anyway.
It's the money.
So they need that sort of manager who's like a completely hands-on deck. This is my ship kind of guy.
Right.
Someone who knows talent, brings it in, and makes the players. Someone who brings in that winning culture that you mentioned, and it starts with being a playoff team, and then they have to go for being a championship team.
Stefan?
Oh yeah, let's face it, ship of fools.
Exactly.
We just, again, MLSC, I finally understand what Leaf fans feel like, and I feel bad for them. As a Sens fan, I should be chirping them left, right, and center, but now after cheering for a team owned by the same corporation, I look at TFC fans and say, you've been doing this since '67? I would have jumped off a bridge by now.
Matt?
Well, it kind of goes back to the whole hockey club running a soccer club.
Exactly.
Right.
It's ice and grass. It's up to your mind, you know. It's two different scenarios.
Not to mention hardwood too.
Well, yeah. So
Not that they're aware.
What they want to do, what they want to do, is commendable, but what they are doing is reprehensible.
Right.
They need to get somebody in there who's doing soccer and not, or sort of doing football and not doing soccer. We need somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, you should mention to MLSC that football is soccer.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to
right.
be sure.
Just
Just
be on
so
the
you know.
safe side.
And not take on the Argos.
Yeah.
Anything from Aaron?
They need to like stick around with a solid core group of people for a while and not just you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. You know, like
Not to
Just-
mention their coaches. Holy shit.
Give
like
someone a chance
everyone,
to show
just
what to
like
do.
just give them like make like a 5-year plan. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And, like, stick
don't
with
say
it.
5-year plan. TFC, yeah.
Yeah, that was the
That just-
5-year plan with Vinter. Guess what happened? It wasn't the
Well, maybe if
5.
they would have sticked with him,
Or
maybe
even
we would
Mo
have seen
Josh
results
is
future
fine.
down
Yeah,
the road, you know what I mean?
5 years.
Exactly.
That's the problem with MLSC. They don't stick with their people. You know,
No.
they're
No.
like it's like a player at the club, and he's like, oh yeah, hey chica, come here, and then like he takes the one woman,
Yeah,
1
yeah.
week next.
Yeah,
next
so
one,
it's another.
you know?
Do you know me?
Yeah.
No, speaking English. Sorry. No, but
It's true. They treat their coaches like the flavor of the year or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
I wonder how many coaches will look at their phone now with TFC calling to hire them, give them a job interview.
Exactly.
MLSC Toronto, ignore,
Right.
ignore.
So, here's one for you, Matt. Vancouver being the very first Canadian professional
Woo!
team to make the playoffs. Thank goodness one of them made.
Yeah.
How far is Vancouver gonna go? I mean, you know, they're going up against LA. We know it's a 2-horse league with LA and New York.
Yeah.
You know, how far are they gonna go? You know, maybe a prediction for the result against LA. There's a follow-up question, but I'll ask it after. So.
Couldn't tell you too much about the van. I have a cousin who lives out there, and he's telling me there's great things going on.
Yeah.
I expect not to. I expect LA to get a good run for the money.
Okay.
Not sure if Fan can pull it off.
Right.
I'd like to see them do it. I think deep down, if they really put their pedal to the metal, they could do it.
Right.
But it would be a tough run.
Right. Stephane?
Well, Toronto at the start of the year, and Vancouver has a lot better chemistry. They're more stable. So I think they can pull one over David Beckham and the boys. I really hope they
Yeah.
do.
Oh God, would that
Just
be
so they
big?
can start
Oh,
saying you could shove your David Beckham up your ass.
Exactly.
I just want to see the little star team of the MLS brought down a notch or two
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Vancouver does have some issues, though. The reason they're in the playoffs is because they had such a hot start. They haven't been playing too well recently. They've been improving a bit, and it's a playoff game, right? Anything can happen, but they are certainly pressed here.
Aaron?
You know, I think they will go far in this playoff. You know, I'm very happy to see that they are in the playoffs, and you know, they have a lot of quality players like Darren Maddox and Jay DeMeritt. You know, there's some quality players there, and especially my friend Roche in Vancouver. Shout out to you. He was telling me that you know, there's a lot of hype around the team there. Everybody is wearing the swag. It's because there's no hockey, right? So everyone's like, Vancouver Whitecaps, let's go!
Exactly.
So, you know, they're building the spirit and the support over there,
That's
and
great.
because of that, it will just give the players a little boost
That's
to
amazing.
hopefully get the cup.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, follow up, like, you know, Montreal Impact, they almost did it in their inaugural season, which I thought would have been spectacular. But what, you know, between them and TFC, I mean, what do they need to do to improve for next season, do you guys think?
I think the Impact are on the right path.
Right.
I think going back to TFC, they have a lot of work to do to get there.
Got more than a lot of work.
Well, I'm trying to be nice, you know.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Toronto as it is,
Yeah.
so I don't want
So
to.
do we,
pressure
so
them
do we.
too much.
Oh my goodness. Mustafa?
The Impact are on a good track. What's interesting is the Impact that actually still have a chance of finishing higher than the Whitecaps overall in the standings. And if I'm an Impact fan, I'd really be pissed with that. They both have 42 points right now with one game left. It's interesting for the Voyagers Cup. It's still not decided who the first seed is for next year because there's still a game left to play between them. The Impact are on a great track, though. They have a good team, good midfield, defense. You got Nesta in there, DeVayo. You got academy players coming up. You got, as I mentioned, midfield includes a Brazilian by the name of Felipe. You got Bernier there for Canadian player who's actually apparently running up for MLS Player of the Year, which would be amazing. He got Player of the Month a couple months ago.
Wow.
So and add in the fact that they're owned by Joey Saputo and not MLSC. They're they're definitely they're next year. This should be a playoff year for them. As for TFC, well, we just discussed that at length.
So I guess for the listeners, if you don't know who we're throwing under the bus, just hit rewind. Stephane?
No, yeah. Again, we've already threw MLS under the bus, reversed it, went forward, reversed it again. And we haven't even hit the service yard yet. But the Impact, like, they're used to growing their team from NASL. They weren't in the NASL before, were they?
1 year, I think, with the Whitecaps. Because NASL's in its second year.
Yeah, no, but they've been working since lower, growing their fans.
Yeah.
Like,
They've been around for a long time.
They started out at a high school field.
Yeah.
Like, something smaller than Terry Fox. And look where they are now.
Yep.
Something smaller than Anfield.
Yeah. But that sort of thing is they're growing it right. Saputo's going, no, I have to make the investments. If anyone wants us in the playoffs the first year, sure, give me a couple $1 million. No problem. But I want your money first. No, I want to set up my team and grow it.
Aaron?
You know, they just have to keep doing what they've been doing, and you know, hopefully next year they will make the playoffs, and just keep improving by hopefully getting some more academy players into the first team squad, and hopefully making some big name signings. So we'll see.
All right, Stephane, if there's at least one thing, just pick one. All right?
I know.
If there's at least one thing you would do to improve the MLS, what would it be?
Fine. I have huge issues with the MLS, but my most one I would love them to get rid of, this designated player money. You want to sign your David Beckhams, you want to sign your Nestas, DeVayos, your Frings.
And your Henris.
Yeah, fine. Sign them. You pay them, not the league.
I
Simple
don't
as
even
that.
know why they even started with that in the beginning. Like
To bring over the attention.
Bring the big names. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what it was set up for, just to bring the big names.
Julian de Guzman's a big name.
It was brought into.
It's a long name, like.
Yeah.
Literally, it
It
is.
was actually made just
No
for David
offense.
Beckham.
Yeah.
LA Galaxy had David Beckham. MLS says, you know what, we're going to change the rule book. Yeah, you can have David Beckham. Because he's not going to come for 100K.
Yeah.
No. Mustafa?
As Stephane mentioned, get rid of the DP rule and put the salary cap up to maybe 6 million. Because the way you have it now, you have a salary cap of 2 million, and then you have 3 guys making 2 million each. So
Right.
20 guys making a total of 2 million, and then 3 guys making 6 million. The salary cap itself should be up to whatever they're spending now, like normal salary plus DP, so maybe up to 6 million. 6 million. And that way you have your best players making about 1 million. Your mid-range guys making about 500,000. Your guys that are making about 100K now. And then your academy grads and lower level players making up to maybe 200K. That will the quality of the league will skyrocket, honestly. And they're good enough to having guys make 40K a year playing with guys making 2 million is just insulting, really. So yeah, increase the salary cap to about 5 or 6 million.
Matt, which team will take the first place in the Premiership this year? At the end of this year, I know you're Man City, man, but
Allez les bleus.
Really? You should be singing Blue Moon, not Let
I
It
don't
Blue.
Canada.
So who's finishing first, top of the table?
Impartially, I gotta go with them.
You gotta go with Man City.
I gotta go with Man City.
Mustafa.
Isn't it Chelsea now after 9 or 10 games?
Yeah, but at the end of the season, though.
Okay. At the end of the season, it's I haven't been following Man United, but they're always up there. They always go for it. It's not going to be Arsenal, I know that. Being anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, the amount of chances they missed today.
Yeah.
So gonna be, I'll say Man City as well.
Okay, Stephane.
I'm going to say Man City for one reason. They'll be knocked out of Europa and Champions League once again.
All right. And Aaron?
Man City, and I'm just gonna, put it in there for Newcastle United represent. I like their colors.
Someone's gonna sign Bod. Newcastle's gonna lose half their team because of the season they had last year.
So we've got 4 cities and a potential tune. All right. Next, let's go with Aaron. You can have this one. Which 3 teams will be relegated season's end?
That's a tough one. I would say maybe Southampton,
Okay.
Swansea,
All right.
and QPR.
QPR. All right. So Reading's gonna come out of this shit.
Really?
All right.
I don't know. I like Reading.
Yeah, but mind you, Reading did finish top of the table.
All right. And Mustafa, your 3 getting relegated.
Yeah, my 3 were, I was going to say Southampton, Reading, and then there's going to be a bunch competing for the last one. Yeah, well, competing, and I say that. And, the last one I'm going to go with, tough, but I guess I'll go with Aaron, QPR.
QPR. Stephane.
Well, the funny thing is, I'm looking at the table right now, and it
You don't have to
is.
scroll down too far because you're a big screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't have the iPhone 5, so a couple weeks ago, if I had it, I wouldn't have to scroll down to see Liverpool down there. But right now, at the moment, it is Reading, Southampton, and QPR.
Do you think it's going to be those 3?
It'll be 2 of the 3, and the third will be Wigan.
Okay.
Wigan? All right.
Wigan, they play an attractive style, but you can only do that so long. This is a long, grueling season.
Yeah.
It's like playing Canadian hockey, where it's a lot of checking. It's the harshest physical league to play in compared to the rest. Everywhere else is a bit more technical, a bit more flair, panache. EPL, run down the field. Run down the field. I'm going to give you the ball. Run!
Matt?
Well, if you look at the bottom 3 right now with Southampton, Reading, and QPR, it seems like it might stick like that, but I just want Anton and Stephane here to be a little careful, because look who's right above them.
We were there last year because McTwat, and we were there, I think, the year before with Gerard Houllier in March, and then we ended up the season ahead of Liverpool in, I believe, 8th or 9th.
For those who don't know, we're talking about Aston Villa here. They're in
Yeah.
17th.
Oh yeah, we're Aston Villa. We draw when we want.
And we glow in the dark.
Yeah, honestly.
All right,
Get with the
next-
program, Matt.
Next up, let's go with Aaron. Realistically, based on the teams you support in the Premiership, and we all know who the blue you like, what place are they going to finish in? We already called it.
Yeah, we already know his answer.
Ikadam number 1.
So I'm assuming you guys are all just gonna say Man City all across the board, number one,
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
or unless or sorry, no, your club specifically.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you said number one. Matt and Aaron
Well,
are.
I'm gonna say I'd like to see number 1. I think it's very good, possibly number 1, but top 3 for sure. So
Oh, okay. Stephane, where's our bloody villain? Glow in the dark.
Hold
you
on,
know.
get
Tottenham
Mustafa, so I'll give you
No.
one.
Tottenham Hotspur totally copied us team, you know. Just like
Yeah,
you
go
know.
with Mustafa, I'll come back.
All right, fine, Mustafa.
Alright, my club is Arsenal. We have a God-given right to 4th place, we'll take it.
All right, fine.
The team from Birmingham is gonna finish in at least 11th.
11.
Beat the shitty, because the shitty will stay in the championship where they belong.
He's been practicing that all day long.
Actually, no, I just did it now.
Fine, Mr. Freestyle. Alright, Mustafa, realistically, no, skip that one. Excuse me. In your opinion, was EA's move, okay, if you've played FIFA 13, was EA's move to, in FIFA 13 to a good one by replacing the Japanese league with the Saudi Arabian?
I love the FIFA game series, and one thing I love about the FIFA game series is how many leagues and national teams they have in there. Career mode, I'll play as many as they have. I've done the Brazilian league, the Australian league. I've done England about 500 times from taking...
Man, you're consistent, eh?
Yeah, well, taking, your random and Power League 2 team and winning the Champions League with them. And
Yeah.
I've done MLS a bunch of times, TFC,
Alright.
DC. Anyway, so yeah, the more the merrier in terms of leagues. I love, and they realize that Middle Eastern market is growing for them. So put in Saudi Arabia, and hell, Saudi Arabia is rich. They probably paid for the work.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
So-
the exact same thing. There's a lot of money there. There's no reason they shouldn't put it in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to change the guard a bit and
Okay.
get new players in there, new teams, new clubs.
Cool. Aaron?
Not gonna lie, I played the game a lot, but I did not notice that there was a change.
I
So, was it a good one? Didn't really make any difference to me. I would never play as
You're still
The
kicking
Japanese-
FIFA 13, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would never play as the Saudi Arabian league
What, you didn't
or
wanna
Japanese league. Maybe I'd play as the Iranian league because, I'm all in the country. But
That's cool. That's
I
cool.
would. I don't know. I would personally never play with that. I usually play with MLS or EPL.
Okay, cool, Stefan.
Well, what I do, I find it odd because the Japanese league is really growing. It's growing by big numbers. But also, a couple years ago, they had the Turkish league in there.
Yeah.
And they removed that. But I didn't know about some of the teams in Turkey till I played that Turkish league. I was like, oh. So maybe if I play in that league, I might get interested. Oh, that's nice. That's a team there. So again, it's the idea of switching clubs around, getting info around. But there's been going, there must have been some other league you could got rid of.
It's also a geography lesson too.
For the Americans.
I know where Saudi Arabia.
No,
doesn't
but
have any natural
a lot of
waters.
people don't. So I guess it
Yeah,
would also be
yeah.
nice. A lot of people there's a lot of people bad at geography. I guess it would be nice. People who play the game. Oh, yeah, where's Saudi Arabia? This is where it is.
What, no one threw a geography textbook at me when I was a kid?
No, not
You'd
south
be-
of the border, bro.
You'd actually be surprised, even in Ottawa, how many people are bad at geography.
That's true.
And Stefan, you mentioned the Turkish league. It was taken out because it's corruption down there.
Oh, okay.
There's yeah.
So that's what. Yeah, I'm gonna keep out of
Now,
this.
on with the league talk. Matt, what is Europe's most underrated league in your opinion?
See, we're gonna start off with one guy who doesn't know enough about it.
Anton just wanted the answer done quickly.
I'm right there. I'm right there. I have no idea. I don't
No.
watch enough.
All right, fine. Aaron.
Croatian Premier League.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
There's the go. Did he actually watch some of these games to tell us this?
He streamed it online, I swear.
Yeah.
Stephane?
It's gonna be the French league. It's
French league?
It's
I agree
fighting
with
back
that. I have
and
to agree with
forth.
that.
And also, if everyone knows about the Africa Cup of Nations, 3/4 of the French league is shut down because they go play down there, and that's known. I think it's after UEFA's. It's the second most watched tournament.
I can imagine, yeah.
Mustafa?
I should have learned how to pronounce this before I got here, but the Eredivisie in
Eredivisie,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Eredivisie. You got good clubs in there. Look at Ajax and how much they've produced. Barcelona is based on
Man, I'm
Ajax.
starting to see a huge uproar of Ajax fans. Like, I'm starting almost every corner.
Do you know how many-
Of course, it's
Toronto-
North American mentality. You see a
Like,
club doing well, buy
I
their
know.
jersey.
I have to say
Exactly.
this because he
Accordingly.
brought it up. Did you see the picture that the Ajax fans brought out at Champions League game after they beat Man City?
What was it?
Ajax fans against big modern football, and it's a hands exchanging money. But they
Yeah.
only brought it out after they beat Man City 3-1. Starting lineup for Ajax, £4.9 million. Starting lineup for Man City, £200 million.
Wow.
Oh, can I want to do one more comment. I
Go
think
for
maybe
it.
an underrated league is the Swedish league.
Alright.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Swedish
Alright.
league. You know, they have a lot of good teams over there, like Ike and some other ones.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
Sweden
mean,
has a great Div 1, but their Div 2 is a complete mess.
yeah, and a Div 3. And
And,
Yeah,
well,
if
Just
your
keep
Div
going.
2 is a complete mess, I don't even want to see your Div 3.
Alright.
well, I mean, they're better than our Div 2.
Stefan, I know this one's for you. Which two famous personalities would you love to see during halftime as talking heads? So, you know, you do first half, you got, you know, guys babbling on it, you know, halftime talking stats, whatnot. Who are your two celebrities?
Don Cherry, John Madden. Both guys are just, you look at them, you're going, how are they on TV? Like, let's face it.
Together.
I don't watch NFL, so I can't really say how he is on TV.
But you know what he sounds like.
Yeah. Here's a guy there running with the ball, going down that way, passes here. And then, of course, you're down here. But he didn't keep his head up. That's why he lost the ball. That's why no foul was called. He wasn't looking. Just those two. It'd work or it'd fail. I didn't think it'd work. It'd be so bad, people would just sit there and watch it for Don's cherry suit and the evil glare's throne.
Mustafa?
One of the things I don't like about FIFA 12 when I bought it from FIFA 11 was the lack of Andy Gray. So, and because I'm Canadian as well, I'll go with Stephane and Don Cherry. So,
Don Cherry and Andy Gray.
put
Wow.
them together and see what happens.
Let's put a female linesman in the NHL when it comes back and see what Don Cherry says.
Matt?
You know, I've been thinking about this,
Yeah.
and I want to go Robin Williams.
Alright.
Oh.
And and see, now that we mentioned Don Cherry, I can't get him out of my head. But that's I want to see Robin Williams because he does this one little skit where he does a Mexican footy announcer.
Why
I
don't
want
you
to
call
see
me after
him
the
and just a
Mexico
Mexican footy announcer side by side, and just see Robin Williams tear this guy a new hole. Just listen to the hilarity.
Aaron, you got any?
I have to say again. I just have to agree with Don Cherry, and also some of those like. The football commentators on like ESPN, like the big ones who are like former NFL players. I want to see some of those guys. I don't know why. I just think it would be the funniest thing to see these big guys.
Charles Barkley, John Madden.
There you go.
Imagine that. Two guys who don't know enough about their own sports.
Bravo. All right. So, name your favorite chant, boys.
Allez, allez, les rouges, les blanches, allez, 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 les blanches, allez. That one is great.
Yeah.
As a supporters club, I feel like one of our missions should be to have noise going for the full 90 minutes.
Hell yeah.
You have that one going, it takes up a good 60 or 70 minutes. You have the drum going along with it.
Mr. Stephane, shout out.
Exactly.
What? We got two. I need another one.
Yeah, and I'll give an honorable mention to another one that I think is actually original to us, and I'm not sure why I like it, but it's a great song. We have one that goes, "Can you feel our passion?"
No, it's TFC.
We stole it from TFC.
Yeah.
All right, well that's
Still ours.
still ours. Okay.
I've been working on one to rearrange the words. We nicked the tune.
All right.
That's all you need to know.
Matt, you got a favorite chant?
Some of them in the inaugural season CCFC were, why don't you go home and I'm blind, I'm deaf. I came up with a few good variations on both of them, so those are probably there for me.
Cool, Stephane.
Well, at first was because I found the Philadelphia Unions ones after a coach from Kansas was caught with the DUI, and they're all saying 9 balls of beer on the wall. Show me your keys, Peter Varese, but after going down to the Impact game where we got the fans joining us with one chant, Toronto till I die, we watched Impact cry, we beat you once, we beat you twice, so fuck off and goodbye. And the whole, at least our section, everyone had the middle finger raised, and the funny thing was, Montreal was in our end. The goalie was in our end, and the player was at the other end of the pitch. So the goalie heard it.
So, Aaron, you got a favorite chant?
Yeah, I remember for this from the first season. It was come on, you boys in white. Come on, you boys in white.
Yankee
A
Doodle.
Good
Yeah.
classic,
I
yeah.
love the call back and forth. I think for PDL, at least myself or one of us should be on an opposite side when we try doing it, even though we may be few in numbers.
That was definitely like one of those like Celtic chants that really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And like it's just my favorite chant of all time.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Stephane, you can start this one off. Name your supporters section for NASL. Or our supporter section.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. I have the footnote. Omit West Side. I was told this by Stephane. Omit it.
I don't want to hear, yo, you're going to the West Side. I don't want to hear the Wiggers saying that. I hear one Wigger say that. I have no problem showing which side, which end of the drumstick he's going to get. But Aaron's not Wiggerish.
Well, no.
He's dark.
Yeah. Get in.
All right. So, what's the name of our section?
Let's go with something because we're the Bytown. So Lumberjacks, the Lodge.
The Lodge.
Oh, I like that one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Mustafa.
As Stephane mentioned, we're the Bytown Boys. Bytown is Ottawa. Ottawa is located in the valley, so why not call it the valley?
All right. All right. Aaron, you.
The chalet.
The chalet.
You know, it's somewhere we come to release our energy for the week. You know.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a chalet, you like to relax. You know, have a good time with your
Exactly.
boys. So that's what we're here to do. So
But bunch of double fisting too. Matt.
The lumberyard.
Lumberyard.
Oh, I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
Cool.
one.
I came up with the Bytown bench or the boys bench last time, but
Alright.
I'm thinking I just came up with a lumberyard. I like it.
All
like
right.
the
All
lumberyard.
right. Cool. Final question out of the 21 question session. share your favorite memory with CCFC.
Oof.
Please, because as supporters, we all know that was one magical friggin' year. That's why we're all together today.
Oh, yeah.
That's what brought us together.
Bytoiwn Boy for life.
So there you go. Aaron, you want to start this off?
I would have to definitely say when there was like a Brazilian team that came to watch Capital City, and we joined sides, and we started doing all these chants, and then the whole stadium was going crazy. You could probably hear it from like 5 kilometers away. Our chants, like it was
And
that
you and
loud.
I did not know any of the words
We were
whatsoever.
like, Brasil was you one league. It was my favorite time of the year, and like if we could have that, if we could get as many people as that, or just at least like 20-30 people in the NASL, I would be pleased, because that's how many we have there, and
Absolutely.
people could hear us, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Stephane?
I got top 3, so I'll give you the third. The third was when bloody hell, what was the third? The Montreal game when it was piss pouring rain, beating them 3-0. It was just wow. And I was proud of the Ottawa fans, because this is the first time I've seen fans at any outdoor game when it rains stay.
Right.
I've been to CFL games where Ottawa fans leave. They stayed, and I was,
Yeah.
wow. There is hope for us.
Number 2?
Number 2, when we went to the finals.
Alright.
When the club more or less paid for our trip down. And the first one was when the club recognized the 3 of us as starting to keep going the tradition of supporters group and bring us onto the pitch, giving us game-worn jerseys from the players,
Nice.
autographs, and
Right on.
Still got my jersey.
I got mine on.
I was gonna wear it, but I didn't.
Matt, your favorite memory?
I'd have to say it was meeting the boys.
Yeah.
Getting to know them and just spending the time with the guys.
Yeah.
You see them on the field, you start idolizing them, but then afterwards you take a step back and you meet them on the side, and they're just stand-up guys.
Yep.
Solid on the field, solid off.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mustafa?
Just basically everything you guys mentioned, having a pro club in the city, with games from was it April to October, having professional soccer players here, as I play soccer myself, not at your league level, but having these guys here and actually being able to watch them live and support them and all that. Plus, they did great community work as well. I know in a park by my house, we had every week, once a week, we had city players come and just kick balls around with kids and try to grow their fan base and all that stuff. It's too bad that had to end, really, because it was amazing.
Cool. Thank you guys very much. So that wraps up the 21 question portion of Boot Scarves and 21 questions. Hopefully, I'm hoping, is it looking good?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Cool. Thank you guys very much for coming on down, Stephane. Thank you for hosting BBSC in the building. You know what it is. It's the Two Villains in Vanier hosting Boot Scarves 21 Questions with the Bytoiwn Boy Supporters Club. Thank you. Shout out to Aaron, to Matt, to Mustafa. My name is Anton, signing off. By the way, Stephane, before we close it off completely,
We have to give a big shout out to a gentleman who traced us to downtown Ottawa last night
at Pub 101.
Pub 101 to buy a scarf. We figure it's for his son because his son joined us
Yeah.
Okay.
in the stands at PDL games. I figured this. I know the guy's name. I refuse to mention his name in case his son's listening. So if you get this as a Christmas gift, make sure you thank your dad profusely.
And join us with all your friends.
Oh,
Exactly,
he did.
please,
He knew the
please.
chance with
Keep
us.
coming.
Yeah. So he was with us at PDL games.
Yeah, one of the kids.
Amazing.
So
Oh, one of the kids. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
right.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
So big shout out to him. By the way, Stephane, are we still in the midst of pre-ordering scarves?
yes, we
We're
are.
good.
We're still looking into it. Well, we aren't looking into it. We are, but
We're taking your pre-orders. If you got $20 and you want to pre-order your own inaugural BBSE scarf, they're available. Come contact us through at Bytoiwn Boys SC. Bytownboys.webs.com has our Twitter and Facebook handles, so you can contact us through that. So, signing off. Thank you very much. Episode 1. Boot Scarves 21 questions. Peace.